Do you want to encourage early literacy for your kids by helping them learn letter recognition and letter sounds by using fun activities that are pretty easy to do? Well, I'm going to show you our favorite activities that help my 3-year-old learn her alphabet, her beginning letter sounds, and how she's continuing to learn sight words and blending. And we're going to show you how we intentionally add fun and excitement to these activities and how we use that as an approach to early literacy to help our little ones grow. Ready? Let's go. Hi everyone, welcome back to the most magical homeschool on earth. My name is Jordan Ashley and I am so happy that you are here. On this channel, we share all about how we homeschool, both at home and at Disney World and beyond. We also talk a little bit about how I work from home and make homeschooling working mom happen. So if that sounds like it would be interesting to you and you would like to see more of that content, consider subscribing, hit that notification bell so that you won't miss out on a video. So what is early literacy? Well, it's the process of going from learning to read to reading to learn. And how do you do that? You encourage an interest in reading, you recognize that written words are everywhere and learn how to follow along on a page. You improve letter knowledge, which is what we'll be focusing on this video. You work on vocabulary, you learn about narratives and phonics. Now you could do this through writing, talking, singing, reading stories, playing pretend. There are so many different ways that you were probably already incorporating learning activities that encourage early literacy. For example, reading to your kids is so important. The library is your very best friend. Reading helps your little ones learn about what they're interested in, and you learn about what they're interested in. You also improve their vocabulary, their narrative skills, their awareness of print, and so much more. There's also singing that encourages rhyming, vocabulary, and comprehension, as well as narrative skills. Pretend play is so important when you think about vocabulary, narrative skills, comprehension. And then of course you could just point out words anywhere and everywhere you are. This is something that you might be already doing, pointing out letters, pointing out words on a menu or on a sign. They're everywhere. Now let's get on to the main portion of this video where we're gonna help your little ones learn through activities so that they improve their overall letter knowledge and phonics. Ready? Now, when we talk about letter knowledge and phonics, there are so many different ways that we can go about teaching this. How your child learns might be different than how my child learns, so don't feel pressured to do any of these activities. They're just the ones that worked for us. We also have a lot of different resources, free and paid and some borrowed, that we use to teach. So I might make a full video on which ones are our favorites. You'll see a couple in this video. And of course, this is not an all-inclusive list. This is just a couple of the activities that we have loved and utilized the most.
Okay, so let's talk letter recognition and letter sounds. That's the very first thing that we did. You made these flashcards for her that had the both upper and lowercase letters, as well as a little Disney character that correlated with that beginning letter sound. Each day, or at least several days a week, we would go through these flashcards 2 times at least. The first time would be us going through the A, B, C, D, and on and on. And then the second time would be with the letter sound. So A, B, K. Now, another way that we use these cards it is for tracing practice. She will practice writing the letters with a dry erase marker because they are laminated. So I also made these Play-Doh mats that are available to download for free down in the description box below if you're interested. Now, each time we were introducing a new letter, that week, letter B, for example, would be inside her morning basket. So she could utilize it in a lot of different ways. As the name suggests, she could trace it with Play-Doh. She could trace it with snacks, which is obviously one of her favorites. She can actually trace it with a dry erase marker. And we would practice, this is letter B. This is how you write the letter B. Uppercase on the front, lowercase on the back, as well as you could actually see it written down below in much smaller size, place for her to trace the letters there as well. So she got lots of practice with that, as well as learning how to remember her letter sounds. So this is a long activity that took her several minutes each time. She had lots of free play opportunities, learning to recognize the letter and to identify the letter sounds that go with it. Now, if you followed our channel, we are the most magical homeschool on earth. For a reason, we love homeschooling and learning and playing at Disney World. So one of those ways that we incorporate learning while we're at the parks is just observing the different details that the Imagineers have created for guests. So, in Toy Story Land, for example, there are actually blocks that have letters on them and things that start with that letter and numbers and all different kinds of wonderful preschool learning opportunities. So, we would go on letter hunts all the time there, and it is super fun. Another one of our favorite activities was when we went on letter hunts. So, when we were using the letter C, for example, we practiced what sound does the letter C make? What words start with the letter C? So we would go around the house, look for different objects that started with that letter. And so we had a good time going on a fun adventure, and we would place it all on the table and use that for inspiration to actually create decorative letters. For the letter B, for example, she decided to make a butterfly, and this is just a great visual representation of the letter B and what sound it makes that we can actually put on the wall. We're going to hopefully put all of the letters on the wall someday. And this is fun for her because she gets to use arts and crafts, use her hands, practice those gross and fine motor skills, mostly fine motor skills for this activity, but really great um, well rounded activity for her. Of course, one of our favorite ways to learn is to use the learning binder that I made for her. If you want to see more details from this learning binder, you can check out the video that I will link down below and here as well. It's also in my Etsy shop if you would like to use it. It's one of our favorites, and we practice letters in multiple different activities throughout the binder. This one, she is practicing the letters matching the upper and lowercase letters, as well as practicing the letter sounds and identifying words that begin with those letters. And she has become a pro at them basically from this activity book that we made. So she gets to take this wherever she goes, both on the road, on our adventures, and of course, we use it a lot at home. The binder also includes a lot of different matching of upper and lower case, as well as, of course, a couple of Mickey inspirations in there. And we have some word families that we get to practice with as well, finding rhymes, which is also super important. But I must say, her favorite activity is where she will find the words that start with each letter. So A is for astronaut, airplane, bubbles, things like that. That is her favorite activity right now. We love incorporating multiple learning objectives into one activity. So we practice gross motor skills and letter recognition, letter sounds, spelling her name, all with activities like this one, where we tape painter's tape onto the floor and I call on a letter, or I ask her to find a letter sound, or what letter does cat start with? Things like that. This is a great activity to really get your little ones moving and their minds and bodies engaged. So this set of a magnet letters and magnet board as well as whiteboard combination is one of my favorite things we have bought for our preschooler thus far. It is awesome. I can ask her to match the letters. I can ask her to find the letters, match the letter sound, find the letter sound. I can even practice blending, and this is going to be useful for years and years to come. She practices writing her name and spelling out her name. She gets to pick the colors, and there's lots of different options. We also practice blending, and so far, this is one of our favorite ways to teach word families. So if she's practicing her at family, for example, she can practice blending those sounds together, and she is having so much fun doing it. This is another favorite in our house. We got letters and set them out and then gave her a magic wand where we will ask her to find the letter and she will have to swat it, or she will find the letter sound, or she will spell the name. And as we progress over the years, I'm sure we can utilize it for many in many other ways as well. These were both each $1 at the Dollar Tree. Like many homeschooling families, we learn on the go a lot. So we learn while we are in the car, at Disney World, and on all of our adventures. So we like things that are compact and easy to take with us, like this activity here. She can practice tracing the letters upper and lowercase. Then she paints with water to reveal a word that begins with that letter. After turning it over, she can see more letters. After turning it over, she can see more words that begin with that letter. This is a really great activity, and we've used it a lot already. This is another awesome on the go book that we could take with us where it's a tracing activity. There's drawing, math, letters, but this is the drawing one. So, how she uses it is she will actually use a specialized pen to trace the different shapes, trace the different lines, the different letters, and this helps with her fine motor skills idea of tracing and writing in general. And it's really great because she can use it over and over again. The lines where she is supposed to trace are actually indented. So when she's writing her letters, she can follow the indent and then it erases and magically goes back to the way it was. So she can use it over and over again. This is another activity that we absolutely love. Everything from rhyming to letter sounds, letter recognition, matching upper and lowercase, comparison. So this is part of an activity pack that folds up in its own little briefcase, even comes with videos for engaging the learners, and it's super fun and easy for on-the-go learning. We also love activities like this. These puzzles are super fun. My daughter loves puzzles. She likes doing very large puzzles at this point. They are great for her fine motor skills, among other things that I can mention in another video. But this puzzle in particular is really fun because she gets to recognize the letters and recognize that the letters put together make a word. So she practices sounding them out, and we are doing fairly well so far. We're having a lot of fun with it. So, phonological awareness is huge when it comes to learning to read and early literacy. So, we are intentionally adding more and more activities that improve our phonological awareness, improve our phonics. There are lots of ways to approach reading and learning to read. We will probably use a combination of them. However, we will lean more towards the science of reading. I've done a lot of research on the topic. However, I suggest if you want to learn more to go do your own research. Comment down below if you would like me to do another video. However, there are lots of really first educators on YouTube if you want to go check out their videos to give you more information. For now, I'm just going to show you a couple of the activities that we are using to introduce phonological awareness to our 3-year-old. She is 3, so we are just starting out, but we are first learning about phonemes. So we learned letter sounds, right? And then we are learning phonemes. And after we learned phonemes and continue to learn phonemes, let's be honest, we are beginning to map out words. For example, we will use a high frequency word like top. We will ask her to say the word top. How many sounds can you hear in the word top? T, ah, p, 3. Okay, so we would put a manipulative such as Play Doh or a Cheerio or something like that on each of the squares, and I will ask her to say the word again, squishing the Play Doh as she does. T, ah, p, t, ah, p, top. And then from there, she will write each of the phonemes on the lines below. And that is how we are starting to map out words. Now, there are a lot of other activities that we are using to teach this same concept. I can go into a lot of detail about that in another video because this video is already getting a little long. These are just some of my favorite activities we've used so far. But I will mention that one thing that we do use is those magnet letters that I showed earlier. That is a key to our phonics activities as well. Now, after I've introduced a word and we have learned the phonemes and graphed it and mapped it out, then we will utilize it in other activities. So, for example, we play musical chairs. Well, I will write different words, high frequency words that we have learned on chairs with chalk outside, and she will play musical chairs with them, or I will yell out a word and she has to find it, and then we'll change it up and things like that. The key is that she is finding those phonemes and sounding out the words in her head, and it's not just pure memorization.
Okay, that's it for this video. I hope that you enjoyed it and that it was beneficial to you. If so, if it helped you in any way, be sure to like, and I would love to see in the comments what activities have been helpful for your family. Is there anything that I missed? Any of your favorites, any favorite resources that you have? Share with our community down in the comments below. Share with me so that we can all help and encourage and learn from each other. So if you'd like to see more videos like this where we talk about how we homeschool, learn at home and at Disney and beyond, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you get notified when the next video goes live. Also, I have so many other platforms that I am on, and I'm sharing sometimes more consistently than I'm sharing here on YouTube, so be sure to check those out as well. I will post links down in the description box below, as well as links to any of our particularly favorite resources. So that's it for today. I hope you have a magical day, and see you real soon, pal.